Good morning, Akwaaba, and welcome once again to Akwaaba Yoga. Sunday, the 6th of August. So, well and truly into Leo season. For any of you celebrating a birthday this month, happy birthday in advance or belated happy birthday. But yeah, looking forward to being on the mat today and sharing the space the next 20, 25 minutes or so. Moving our bodies, finding stillness and really tuning in or capturing our breath, becoming aware of our breath. If you haven't joined in before, my name is Mark, and listen to your bodies and enjoy the flow. So let's get cracking. Let's come into the mat. Let's come into child's pose. So knees apart, feet together, and come into balasana. So open your knees so you've got space to bring your chest down close to the mat. Just walk the arms out in front of the body. If it's a bit tight in the hips, feel free to hinge up. Stay higher up with your tailbone, your bum, off your heels. Or just let the body sink down. Just close your eyes here. Spread the fingers across the floor, across your mat. Feel the ground beneath your hands, beneath your arms. Just roll the head from left to right gently as you massage the forehead. Just give your hips a gentle shake. And then relax. Just come to stillness. Take a deep inhale in through the nose. All the way deep into the belly. Hold for one breath. And then gently exhale out. Exhale out through the mouth. Nice and slowly. And again, deep breath in for count of 3, 2, 1. Hold a breath for count of 1. And exhale out for count of 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. One more round. Deep inhale in for 3, 2, 1. Hold a breath for one breath. And slowly exhale for count of 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Slowly start to press up onto your hands. So I'm going to come into tabletop. So our hands are stacked underneath our shoulders, knees hip distance apart. Shins are flat on the mat. Just take the gaze forward. We're going to barrel roll the belly down. Just take the gaze up towards our front diagonal. Take the tailbone high. Deep breath in. And exhale out. Press the hands into the mat. As you roll the head and take the gaze towards the navel. Feel as if you're creating space in between the shoulder blades. And let's reverse it out. Deep inhale in. Tailbone goes high. And exhale to round. Draw your belly in. As you round the upper back. And again. Deep inhale in. Draw the shoulder blades together. The tailbone goes high. And exhale out. One more. Deep breath in. And exhale out. Just find a movement in your spine here. And relax. Let's come back to a neutral position in our tabletop. On the next breath, let's lift the right hand up off the mat. And shoot it out in front of yourself. So your right palm is facing towards the left side of the room. You can hold it here. Or if you're ready, see if you can lift up that left knee. So we're just engaging through the core to come to a balance and lengthen out through the left leg. You might want to keep a bend in the knee, or if it's there for you without kicking over any plants or any obstacles in your room. Just lengthen out through the left leg, pressing out through the left heel. And on the next breath, let's draw the knee towards the hip, towards the belly. The right elbow goes towards the right hip. Let's tuck in. And one more. Let's lengthen out through the left leg, the right arm. Deep breath in and exhale to round. Engaging through the core. Let's come back to a neutral spine. Let's take the other side. So again, we'll start by lifting up that left arm, the left palm faces towards the right side of the room. We can either hold it here before drawing the left elbow in, or if it's there for us, we can lengthen out through that right leg too. The right toes are pointing towards the floor, right heel presses towards the back of the room. And on the exhale, bring the knee in towards the elbow. So you're rounding your upper back. Inhale to go long. Exhale to round. One more here. Long, deep breath as you lengthen that through the body. Exhale to round. And let's come back to our tabletop. We're going to come into a stretch through the upper back. On the inhale, let's lift up that right arm up towards the ceiling. It may not go all the way up. It may go to maybe to 45 degrees. Just follow the hand of the gaze. And with the exhale, we're going to start to bring that right arm and just thread it behind the left hand, which is flat on the mat. So ultimately bring in the right side of our head towards the floor. Keeping our left hand on the floor. Be careful not to put too much weight into the head, into the neck. Just got a gentle stretch coming through the top of the right shoulder here. Just take the gaze towards the left of the room. Left side of the room for 3, for 2, for 1. On the inhale, press the hand, left hand to mat. And let's come back towards our tabletop. Let's take the opposite side. Start by maybe placing the right hand to the center of the mat. On the inhale, let's open the chest up towards the left side of the room, pressing the right hand into the mat. You might find you've got more space on one side than the other. Take the gaze up towards the left hand for one breath. And on the exhale, we're threading the left arm behind the right wrist. And start to bring weight down through the left arm, the left tricep. And keeping the right hand on the mat, see if you can start to bring the left side of the head down towards the floor. The stretch is coming, not in the neck necessarily, but through the top of the left shoulder. For 3, for 2, for 1. On inhale, press into the right hand to come back into a tabletop. Let's take one more cat and cow. So on the inhale, take the gaze up, tailbone goes high, belly comes down, and on the exhale, slowly round into the upper back. As you undulate, let's come back to a neutral spine. I'm going to curl the toes under, taking a weight into the palms. Start to press our hands into the floor, so we lift the tailbone up nice and high. Let's go to your edge here. Let's all come high into the tiptoes. Start to walk out for both feet, lifting one heel at a time as we find a stretch through our respective calves. Taking a gaze towards the back of the mat here. And when you're ready, just come to stillness. The hands are flat on the mat, maybe cut out through the fingers. You keep a bend in the knees. So take the gaze towards the back of the mat, or energetically start to draw the heels down towards the floor. Again, it's not a competition for the heels to reach. Just energetically draw them down, taking the gaze towards the back of the mat, pressing our hands into the floor. Take a deep inhale in and exhale out. Let's come high on the toes. And together, let's walk our feet towards the front of the mat as we meet in a forward fold, forward bend. So the torso, the arms, the head is heavy. Let's just sway from left to right. Keeping a bend in the knees. Letting gravity take control here. Slowly coming to stillness. I'm going to come into a bend again, taking the gaze towards the left side of the room. So start by taking the right hand, and if it's there for us, you can place it on the outside of the left shin, left knee, or the left thigh. Maybe just grab the outside of your shorts or your leggings. And start to lift that left arm up towards the ceiling. Use the right hand, the resistance of the right hand, to help us come into the stretch. Maybe take a bend into that right knee, long in that left leg, and taking the gaze up towards the hand, wherever the hand might be. Might be at a 45-degree angle. Might be up, facing towards the ceiling. And slowly release. Let's bring both arms down. We're gonna feet are hip distance apart, so we're gonna come into the right side. So this time we're taking the left hand towards the outside of the right shin, the right knee, the right thigh, whichever suits our bodies today. Maybe taking a bend in that left knee, we're lengthening that through the right leg and coming into the twist as we lift up through that right arm. We're long in the torso, engaging through the core. For 2, for 1, slowly start to release. Just flop over, bending from the hips, with the arms and the head heavy. Keep the bend in the knees to slowly start to roll up one vertebra at a time. Keep the arms, the head's heavy. Oh. Actually come into an upright position. Let's come into Tadasana, our mountain pose. The feet remain hip distance apart. Let the arms drop down towards the floor. The palms are facing forwards. Roll the shoulders back. So bringing our chest through. Maybe lift the chin off the chest. Standing up nice and tall. Take a deep inhale in through the nose. And sigh it out through the mouth. Let's bring our hands into prayer position towards the center of our chest. Let's come to some sun salutations. On the inhale, I'm going to float our prayer up towards the ceiling. Again, using the gaze to follow the hands. And on the exhale, bring the prayer through our chest, bending from the hips to come down at Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway, lift hands on the shins, lengthen out through the arms. Engaging through the glutes, take the gaze beyond the front of the mat. Exhale, soften to release. Inhale, bend into the knees, so swoop the arms up towards the ceiling. Exhale, hands into prayer at the center of the chest. Let's go again. This I'm going to come into our chaturanga. Inhale to take the prayer high. Exhale to bend from the hips. Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, bend into the knees as much as you need. Maybe the heels will lift up. Place both palms at the front of the mat. Let's step back with the left foot. And then step back with the right foot. As we meet in our Kumbhakasana, our high plank. So we're lengthening out through the body here. For 2, for 1. We can also drop the knees down towards the mat. For 2, for 1. Let's all bring our knees down. If they're not there already, let's bend into the elbows as we slowly start to bring the chest towards the mat. The chin is just hovering off the floor. Let's uncurl the toes so the back of the feet are flat on the mat. We're going to press our hands into the floor as you come up for a low cobra, tucking the elbows in towards the ribs. And start to peel your chest away from the floor, rolling the shoulders back. For 1 breath. On the exhale, bring the chin towards the floor. From here, we're going to press our hands into the mat and lift up our hips as we take our bum back towards our heels. Let's meet once again in our balasana, our child's pose. Perhaps one a bit more space in our lower back. But hold the stretch for another 2. Another 1. Hold an asana, I should say, as opposed to stretch. Let's come up into a tabletop, curl the toes under, lift the heels up, downward facing dog. So remember here in your downward facing dog, just take the variation that is right for you today, that suits. I'm going to press my hands into the floor and energetically draw the heels down, lengthen up through the arms and taking a gaze towards the back of the mat. And keep a slight bend in the knees, a bit tight in the calves. On the next breath, let's jump, step or walk the feet towards the front of the mat. Let's meet in our forward fold. Inhale, come to our halfway lift, hands on the shins, lengthen up through the arms, engage with the core. Exhale to release. Inhale, bend into the knees, let's take the arms up. So we're nice and long through the body. Taking a gaze in between the hands towards the ceiling. Exhale, hands into prayer. Let's draw the hands to the center of the chest. Let's go again. Inhale, take the prayer high towards the ceiling. Nice one. Exhale, bending from the hips, Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Let's bend into the knees, placing both hands. The heels may well lift up off the floor. Both palms are flat on the mat. So step back with the left foot, step back with the right to come into our Kumbhakasana, our high plank. Or we can come straight to a low plank by low plank. High plank with the knees flat on the mat. Whichever variation you want to take today. We're here for another 3, another 2, another 1. On the exhale, wherever you are, start to bend into the knees to bring the chest, the torso down. Let's uncurl the toes. We're going to come with a low cobra. If it's there, lengthen up through the arms to come to an upward facing dog. Again, tucking the elbows in towards the side of the ribs, rolling the shoulders back. And on the exhale, curl the toes under. Downward facing dog. Deep breath in. And exhale out. On the next breath, we're going to lift up through the right leg. And the right foot may hover a couple of inches off the floor. Or maybe we can take it to, so it's parallel to the floor. I'm going to start to draw that right knee through the body. Or walk the foot forward. We're going to meet a place in the right foot inside of the right palm. I'm going to drop down onto the left knee. Uncurl the left toes. And come to low lunge. So finding a stretch here through the hip flexor. Once you feel nice and grounded through the right sole of the foot, start to peel the chest away from the right thigh. Maybe placing both hands on the right thigh. On each inhale, we're lengthening up through the torso. On each exhale, we're bending a bit further into the right knee to find a stretch of the left hip flexor. For one more breath. Start to press into that right sole of the foot. So we're lengthening out through the right leg. Come up into the right heel. The right toes are curling in towards the face. If you've got a block handy or maybe a water bottle, if your hands aren't quite reaching the floor, feel free to come into a balance. Use a prop. We'll just come high on the tiptoes, and the fingertips. We'll lengthen through the torso here. We're energetically drawing our chest towards the right shin. Again, curling the right toes towards the face. We're finding a stretch here through the back of the leg, through the right hamstring. For 2, for 1. On the next breath, let's start to bend back into that right knee. Placing both hands on the inside of the right foot. And gracefully or ungracefully, again, there's no judgment, no one's watching. We're going to swing that right leg back. So once again, meeting our tabletop. On the next breath, let's press the hands into the floor, lift up the knees, downward facing dog. Deep breath in. And exhale out. Let's come into the opposite side. So whatever works for the body today, we're going to lift the left leg up. So maybe it's parallel. If you want to lift that left leg a bit higher, then feel free to do so, or maybe just hover a couple of inches off the floor. And on the next breath, let's all start to walk the left foot forward or float the left knee towards the face. All meeting with the left sole of the foot sitting on the inside of the left hand. Let's all bring the right knee down towards the mat. Uncurl the right toes. Once we feel nice and grounded through the left sole of the foot, let's place both hands up onto the left thigh. So taking low lunge on the opposite side. On each inhale, again, we're lengthening up through the torso. And on each exhale, finding a bend into that left knee. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale to bend. Just play with the balance here. And just enjoy the stretch we're finding into the right hip flexor. One more breath. And slowly, let's start to bend into that left. We're lengthening out through that left leg. Coming high into the left heel. Curling the left toes towards the face. And we're high in our fingertips or using a prop for a bit of support or balance. Start to walk the hands forward. And energetically drawing the chest towards the left shin to find a stretch this time through the back of the left leg. And on the next breath, let's all bend into that left knee, placing both hands on the inside of the left foot. And in your own time, let's swing the left leg back as we all meet in our tabletop. Curl the toes under. Downward facing dog. On the next inhale, let's all come high on the toes. Jump, step, or walk. Let's meet once again at the front of the mat. Inhale, forward fold. On inhale, halfway lift. Engage with the core, lengthen out through the arms, take the gaze beyond the front of the mat. And on the exhale, soften to release. Start to walk the feet out. So pointing the right foot out towards 2 o'clock, the left foot out towards 10 o'clock. Let's bend into the knees, maybe the heels will lift up. The hands are supporting the body at the front. So finding space in between our hips to come into a crouch position. And then start to walk the hands back, bringing our legs down. Shake out through the legs. The legs are flat on the mat here. Slowly start to bring the back down. We're going to come into a supine twist. Just to finish, so on the inhale, let's sort of draw the left knee up towards the chest. You can grab the front of the right shin or behind the right hamstring. And I'm going to draw the right leg across the body towards the left side of the room. Maybe place the left hand on the outside of the right knee. Let's take our gaze towards the right side of the room. And maybe keep your gaze up towards the ceiling. Again, whichever works for you today. Just come to a twist here, supine twist. Just a lovely pose if you've got any lower back pain. On the next breath, let's come back towards center and swap sides. So this time we're lengthening out through the right leg. The right leg is flat on a mat. We're drawing the left knee in energetically towards the chest. Maybe hug it in for one breath and then start to draw the left knee over towards the right side of the room. Again, it's not a competition to bring the left knee down. Just take it to your edge. Placing the right hand on the outside of the left thigh, the left knee, and then open up the chest towards the left side of the room. Taking the gaze over towards the left hand. For 2, for 1. Let's come back towards center. Let's lengthen out with both legs. Along in the body, the arms at either side. Let's take our hands into a tight grip. And let's squeeze throughout the body. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Squeeze the jaw. Squeeze the ears, the thighs, the calves. And relax. Just going to close the eyes for a few moments here as we come into our closing asana, our shavasana. Let's all take one deep inhale in through the nose and sigh it out through the mouth. Let's come to your natural breath. Let's explore silence. Just giving a nod to any external noises, but doing your best not to allow those noises, those distractions to influence your energy, to influence your mood. Even if it's for a couple of seconds, just find yourself being really present here on the mat, irrespective of what's going on in the outside world. It's just you and your body and your breath. Feel free to stay in your shavasana for as long as you like. Otherwise, just lift the legs up, bringing the knees in, again, energetically towards the chest. And then let's rock up into a seated position and then come and sit on a block. So you come cross-legged or maybe sit onto the shins. Just bring your hands into your lap. If you prefer to stand, take any comfortable position. Just close your eyes for a couple of moments here. Roll your shoulders back so you're bringing your chest through. Stand up nice and tall for the torso. Let's take one more breath in through the nose. Hold and slowly relax as you ease the breath out. If your eyes are closed, I invite you to blink them open. Thank you once again for rocking up for 29 minutes, it looks like, slightly over the 25 minutes. I hope you found that useful. Went through a few asanas today. But yeah, it's always a pleasure being on the mat. It's good to be back with you today. One more month left of summer here in the UK, so hopefully summer starts sometime soon. Thank you, D-Man. A pleasure to practice with yourself. Yolanda, thank you again for tuning in. Much appreciated. To the steps, I'm going to go out for a walk sometime soon. Always inspired by your walking activities. And B, thank you all. So yeah, have a great rest of the Sunday. If you're having watching on playback, enjoy the rest of your week. I hope you're having a good week, and I'll be back, I think, the first week of September. So yeah, take care. All the best. Bye-bye.